All right, everyone. I'm so excited for this conversation. I have my friend Sean here with me. Sean, can you introduce yourselves? Yourself. I'm gonna start that over.
There's multiple. I have multiple selves. Yes. Hello. I'm Sean,
Wait,
and
no,
also
pause.
Sean.
Pause. We have to shoot for the edit.
Okay.
So
This is audio though, so
yeah, I know I gotta cut it, but I need
I think we
pause
should.
time. So 1 second, I'm gonna start over. Um,
I
thank
think you
you.
should do the whole thing in one take. Keep this part too. Do the entire thing, no cuts, no anything, one take. Like fuck it, we'll do it live.
So the folks
Wait, can I
know.
cuss on this? Oh
Yes, you
shit.
can. You can.
Oh shit.
Yes. Hello and welcome to the Creatives Off the Clock podcast. I am your host, Stephanie Whitehouse of SPW Design Media. Whether you are a creative person on or off the clock, we are so much more than what we create. On this podcast, I lift up stories, experiences, and passions of folks in our creative community and really dive into what caring and cultivating space for our creative self looks like. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much, Sean, for joining me today. I would love for you to tell the people who you are.
Hello, I am Sean Khuon-Paige, and I do stuff with cameras. I do a lot of stuff. I don't know how deep you want me to go into this. But
Yeah, tell me a little bit. So I guess we can start about how we met and how our paths crossed. You can speak more to this, but we met in my undergrad years. I guess your overgrad. Were they also undergrad?
No, I was undergrad too. I was just old.
Oh, okay,
I was
okay. That's
old,
why
so
I think
I
it's
looked
throwing me
like
off.
an
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we were working at our university's library in a media production studio. And that's when I found Sean and realized he was super into cameras and lighting. And every time I saw him in the office, he had a camera in his hand. So would you say that's pretty accurate?
I'd say that that's 100% accurate. And yeah, I mean, no, we met in school. We were both doing school stuff. We were in the same major.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. I was not video and cinema though. Were you?
I was digital video and cinema,
Okay.
and you were marketing.
I am turning into a marketing bitch, but I was definitely interactive design.
That one. Yeah. So that was how we met. And now we're here approximately 3 years. Oh my God, 3 years later.
That's disgusting.
2019, 2020. Yeah, that's 3 years later. Okay. That's a really long time. I haven't talked to you really like in person or
Mm-hmm.
in Zoom
Mm-hmm.
in 3 years. This is crazy. And here we are. Wow. Look at us.
So
okay,
what are you doing now? Like what is you have probably one of the most fun jobs that I'm living vicariously through on the internet. If you want to tell folks about that.
Yeah. So long and complicated story, but the TLDR is I do camera stuff. Now, I started a freelance business, last year officially. Most of it is drone. I have a FAA drone license, so I do a lot of drone camera operating and photography, real estate type stuff. And then since I'm full-time freelance, I fill it in with other jobs for different marketing agencies, video production agencies, and basically whoever hits me up on Google Maps. I do stuff for them. So I do a lot of stuff, but it almost always revolves around cameras, drones, and setting up lights for large film sets. That's about it. So a filmmaker, I guess that's like when people ask me what I do, I just say filmmaker to not make it too weird.
For sure, but
Yeah.
also like multi-talented people have a hard time fitting into one word. I would definitely call you multi-talented. So,
Yeah, but if someone off the street asked me what I did, I'm like,
mm.
well, I'm a multi-talented. No, I wouldn't. I'll just filmmaker is like pretty. It's generic enough, I
Mm.
guess.
That's true.
Um,
That's true.
but yeah, I do 17 different jobs all at once, basically.
Wow.
Uh, so yeah, it's
Somewhat
fun. I like
relatable
it.
to that.
What are you doing nowadays? What's your official like title slash whatever?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure this out for myself, I think. So yeah, I like you started my business, I guess a little maybe over a year ago. Yeah. Woot.
Mm-hmm.
But I have been, doing whether it's web design for clients or social media marketing. There was a stint where I was helping someone with their own business and their socials, sometimes some of their clients. Yeah, literally a bit of everything, minus the filmmaking. Like I can do basic, like, interviews and stuff like that, but nowhere near like the amount of
Mm-hmm.
like hardcore filmmaking. And I've never flown a drone in my
Mm-hmm.
life, so that would be something fun to explore. But yeah, I would say like digital marketing, like digital storytelling, anything that is design related or digital presence. I really like helping folks who are their own startup as well. So, like empowering folks in their branding, especially their website, all that good stuff. So, that's what I do. But that also takes time and it takes resources. And when I moved recently from Texas back to Colorado, I didn't have much resources. So, I was like, all right, get a job. That's mainly what put me in Colorado back in the first place. I always wanted to come back, but that is the impetus for coming. And now I'm a digital communications coordinator for a nonprofit in Denver, which is fun. So I get to do a lot of different things. But this is still one of my favorite things to do, and podcasting is something that we tried in the office with much laughter and just insanity. So it's another interesting avenue to try out.
It's a fun medium. I've never been. I'll be honest. I'm a podcast virgin. This is my first podcast, aside from like the silly ones that we made in school.
Oh my
Um,
gosh! I'm so honored.
so congrats, you're my first. Um,
Speaking
no,
of firsts,
I wait. You're hold on. You were in Colorado doing yeah. I didn't realize you moved to Texas. I'm sorry. I feel like an
yeah,
asshole. I thought
hmm
I
I did not
knew
stay in
what you were
Texas.
doing.
I said to myself, I will not be in Texas for more than a year. And pretty much exactly on the dot, the year mark is when I moved. So, yeah, literally
I I
last
don't blame
fall,
you. It's Texas.
last fall to this fall. And that's it. And then we're back.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Got it.
But yeah, I wanted to ask
Well,
you, I guess, what do you remember as like your first creative memory, or like what lit you up creatively as a small bean?
oh man. Um, oh, this is a great question because I mean, I would say I stole my mom's like digital, like like point and shoot Kodak
Mm.
camera
Mhm.
in probably. I mean, it was middle school, but I was homeschooled, so I didn't have a middle school. It was just me,
Mm.
and I would go make silly videos like with my friends, whether that was like I don't know, like parkour videos, when that was a thing, or like I don't know, just dumb little like golden era YouTube 2009
Mm.
ish videos.
What a time. Yep.
I don't. Yeah, what a time to be alive. Thankfully, none of them exist, and I never actually posted any. I don't think, except for maybe like one out of somewhere out there. But yeah, no, I would say probably I was like I don't know 94, so I was like 13, 14 ish years old, right when like digital video cameras became like accessible to the masses.
Yeah.
You could put like a 64 megabyte SD card
I still
in a
have some.
camera, and then record 140p quality. I did stuff like that. I think that's like one of my first, at least in terms of video, like filmmaking. That's definitely one of my first memories. I mean, I was always trying to like take pictures with cameras and do silly stuff like that, but probably just silly parkour videos with friends. I don't know, like, yeah, that's my origin story. It would be, I'll find the video. I'm going to send you the video. I'm sure I have it somewhere.
Oh my God.
Of me like doing flips off of like rocks and shit with my friends. It's super cringy, very bad.
Yeah.
But that would have been my origin story. Have you answered this question before on the podcast? Can I throw this back to you? What was your first memory? Because I want to know this.
This is a new question. You're also the first person I've asked this question to. But I think I'm going to keep it. I think I like it. But I was about to say, I think we have very similar origin stories. So two things I can think of automatically is we had a family computer in the living room. Everyone got a turn. You know, we had like, so I'm one of six kids. So it was like 30 minutes, everybody got their turn, whatever. But it was big and boxy and it had the glass screen. You couldn't hold a magnet up to it. We had like the Jump Start to Learn CD-ROMs. Do you remember those? Like the programs that were like on the CD-ROMs?
Yeah, yes, I had some equivalent of that, like Freddy the Fish type shit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And the Space Cadet pinball. Did you ever play that? This was Microsoft 95, I think is what we're using.
Yeah, Windows
Minesweeper.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
But anyways, like people who are younger than, probably more than 3 years younger than me, probably have no idea what I'm talking about, which is fine. I've accepted that. But coming back to that, I was always in Microsoft Paint. So I was always creating like images and drawings and stuff digitally within MS Paint.
Same.
The cringe fonts, like with the rainbow, the rainbow gradient, etc., all that stuff. So that was, I guess,
Microsoft Clip Art.
Yes, like, the Clip Art, Clippy, the little thing that would talk to you and tell you, like, oh, do you need some help spelling?
Just Comic Sans and all of its glory.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah.
So that, just experimenting in there. And then very similar to you, the digital cameras, just like recording and making weird videos and stuff like that. We didn't have a digital camera, I don't think, in my house until I was in late elementary school, but I was always at one of my friend's house and she had one. And so the LCD is like an inch by an inch, right? And it's like very small and, just creating videos like that. I don't think we did any
quality.
Yeah, the quality was so bad. Like, it's kind of crazy to think how far we've come in terms of like my phone camera takes better pictures and has more memory than one of those little things ever could. No parkour videos, just like also cringe videos. But yeah, I would also watch Charlie the Unicorn and Harry Potter Puppet Pals when we were hanging out. So it's definitely an era, definitely a time.
Harry Potter, Harry Potter. Okay, sorry, I'm not gonna get into that.
Ron.
God, Dumbledore. All right, stop. No, that's amazing. Like, I feel like that's how most people got into it. It was like it was somebody found a camera and then they were like, oh, we can make videos, and then boom, you're a filmmaker. Like, no. Like, yeah, no, that's awesome. That's wonderful.
Yeah, and I mean, I still have like the cringe video projects that we'd have to do for school. I also wasn't really allowed to have like email or anything like that until later. But like when we create a video project and then we'd have to put it on YouTube, as like someone would always forget to put it as unlisted, and it would just be like out there circulating through the interwebs. So there's that.
Yeah. I've got one or two out there for sure. I will find them and send them to you because everything on the internet is forever. So it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah. Agree.
Yeah.
So I guess with that creative journey background, your origin story, what does being a creative person mean to you?
Oof, that's a deep one that I'm probably not going to be able to answer like uh, that great.
That is
But
okay.
no, I mean, being creative to me would be, I don't know, like making fun shit. Like it's such a weird like creativity can be like literally anything. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me it's almost always like a visual medium. So like taking photos or videos or making something on a screen, whatever. But like I don't know, it's an outlet to express myself in one way or another um without like I don't know, without having any weird uh, structure or whatever. Like
Mm.
it's not for work. I don't have to do it for school. Creativity is just what's the question again? I already forgot. This is ADHD in a nutshell. Like what did you just ask me? That was 10
Woo!
seconds ago and I already forgot.
Yeah. I relate. What does creativity mean to you?
Okay, yeah. Creativity means to me making stuff that makes you happy.
Mm.
That sounds weird, but you know, like this is such a loaded question. Like I don't know what is art. Like this is
Yeah,
like a this is we I feel like we could talk about this for like a really long time.
that's
But
true.
this is why I'm a filmmaker and not an English major
Mm.
or philosophy major.
Well, you did mention
I don't know.
something about
It's an outlet.
that's true. Yeah, you said that, it's an outlet. And also, you did mention something about structure and not having to create either for work or school. But that's kind of funny because you create for work. Like, I guess my question is also, like, how do you keep, like, the fun and the spirit of it alive without hitting burnout and without getting, like, blocked? Not like being blocked is a bad thing or creativity blocks aren't a
Hmm.
bad thing, but
Okay.
how do you function in that space?
So this is a great question, and there's probably like multiple part answers to this. But the first part would be, do you remember John Hodges from school?
I
Great
do.
professor, wonderful guy. Yeah. Okay. John Hodges. I remember the first class I had with him. He was just like, "All right, y'all. So I just want y'all to know, like, I don't even remember what the class was. It was like video production 101, something. He was like, this is a fun class. Don't get anxious about anything. We're just learning video stuff. So he said, and I'll always remember this: if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong, or something along those lines. Like,
Mm,
if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. Um, and like that's always been my philosophy for like the last 6, 7, 8 years. Like, I don't want to do shit that doesn't bring me some type of like joy or fulfillment
mm,
or that gives me like something out of it. Like, yes, I could absolutely make a bunch of money making crappy little floating head interviews for like internal marketing agencies for
mhm,
like Facebook or whatever, but like I don't care about that. That gives me absolutely nothing. Like I don't that's not what I want to do. So I want to have like a little bit of fun doing things like um and I guess that's the second part of the question, like how do I not burn out? Um I don't do things for money. Like as much as I love making money, that's absolutely not why I do any filmmaking
mm,
at all. Like I do it because I really like lighting a scene and composition and playing with cameras and seeing the way, different lenses can show different just it has absolutely nothing to do like with money, because as soon as you bring money into the equation, it becomes work and a job, and you get burnt out very quick. Um, so I don't know. I want to I want to be creative on my own terms and not have to worry about like, oh yeah, did I make my 17 different reels today for that one social media client? Like, yeah, there's that, but there's
Mhm.
also like I need to go walk around, on the street and like just take photos for me to have fun and practice, because if it's all work related, it will suck and you'll get burnt out in a heartbeat. Does that answer your question? I don't
Yeah.
know. Like,
Yeah, I think it is a balance, that's for sure. Because I am that person that creates X, Y, and Z, asset for, um,
mm-hmm,
and deadlines and stuff like that. But I also think that right now, that structure and the stuff that I'm doing right now is enabling me to build my own systems too. So I can also, like you, be
mm-hmm,
creative on my own terms, because that's the whole
mm-hmm.
reason I started like my studio. Essentially, it was because I want to find clients that have work and projects that excite me. One of
Mm-hmm.
my friends and former colleagues just started her business, and she needed a website built. It's so fun to be able to like, she does something so off the wall, and to be able to create something that reflects that, just for that she can use and like get clients for herself. Like that's the
Mm-hmm.
coolest thing, is being able to like talk to someone who has no idea where to start, and like help them move through the process and see what the potential is, and where you could go in so many different directions. Like, just show them the possibilities or what could be. So I would agree with you
Yeah,
there. Sometimes it feels like I cannot avoid burnout, and then sometimes it feels like, okay, I know what I need to do to avoid burnout, and I'm just not doing it. Or I'll just do what you do, go outside, take pictures, etc., and just like kind of try to come back to myself that way.
totally. I mean, that creative like collaboration when you have like another brain to like ping pong ideas back
Mhm.
off of, that's like that's the greatest, because like that's where the magic is. You
Mhm.
get to pick someone's brain, figure out what they're going for, and then figure out like a strategy or a method to make that happen, whether that's in graphic design, filmmaking, whatever creative medium. Like, that's super fun. I love that kind of stuff.
For sure.
Project or like problem solving in like a creative medium is always pretty fun, because you can get weird with it. You can do like you can really do whatever the hell you want. Like, it doesn't matter. Yeah, no, I love that. That's wonderful.
Do you have a favorite project like that where you've collaborated with other people, and it doesn't have to be for work or for fun? Like, it could be anything. Do you have like a favorite project that you can think of that was like, dang, that was so fun? I don't even know what we were working on, but it was just so fun. Like that kind of vibe.
Oh man, yeah. A favorite, a favorite. I don't know if I have like an absolute favorite.
Top
I
three.
would say top. Yeah, I did. So I helped shoot a music video. I wasn't like touching cameras at all. I was literally just the guy like building lights and helping build the set for the music video.
Mm.
But I was working with an amazing DP. Her name's Sarah Weldon. She's like my favorite person ever. She just moved to LA like earlier this year and is now making like big Hollywood cool person shit. But no, she directed and like was the director of photography for this music video that was like, I don't even know how to explain it, but we made like a pool. We made like a 20 by 12-foot pool in the middle of Desert Island Studios, which is the studio I'm a member of. It was like 3 inches deep, filled it with water, filled it with a black tarp, and it became like this perfect like black mirror reflective
Mm.
surface, like that one part from like Stranger Things where they're like in the void and she's
Mhm.
like in the water or whatever. So we made like this music video in a realm like that, and like I helped like build the lights for it, and it was just a bunch of like problem solving and trying to figure out like what would look the coolest. And like it, I mean, yeah, no, it's stuff like that like you've got a bunch of really cool people just trying to make something look really good,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't really have to worry about like budgets or egos or anything like that. You're just like trying to make something that would help portray whatever message, the song is about. And yeah, it was really cool. I'll send you the link to that because that was a fun one. It was called Tetuari, I think. It's a jazz band that paired up with a Latina like songwriter singer. So the whole music video is in like Spanish, but there's
Wow.
like crazy slow motion and like I don't even know how to explain it. You just got to watch it. It's really cool.
Oh my gosh,
So yeah,
yes.
stuff like that. Like we just got a bunch of fun people like trying to figure out how to make something look cool. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's the best. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably my favorite so far.
So
For now,
far, yeah, the best is yet to come, right?
for sure.
All right. I'm so excited about this link. I will link it in the show notes so other people can have a visual reference of what you're talking about because I know for me, I'm a very visual person, obviously.
Hmm.
So I need to like
Hmm.
actually see this in front of me to understand what's going on.
It's a lot. Like if I tried to describe it to you uh, through a podcast, you'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" But once you see the music video, you're like, "Oh shit, how'd they do that?" So yeah, I'll send you a link.
Cool, cool. Well, can you describe, I guess, a little bit of your creative process, whether that's like your day to day or if
Oof.
you're just like making something just to make something?
Yeah, that's a big question. I mean, I guess it totally completely is dependent on who the client is.
Mm,
If I had to give you like an average, what I do most of the time, I do a lot of I do a lot of drone work. So like a lot of my clients are either filmmakers who need just like establishing shots for music videos or short films, feature films, commercials, real estate, whatever. I would say a lot of it is real estate. So I don't know. I mean, like for me, working with a client and just doing a lot of pre-production and making sure uh, you're getting, excuse me, you're getting exactly what they're looking for
mm,
is a big part of it. So a lot of Zoom meetings and a lot of like coordinating, going back and forth. Like, hey, uh, this is the end result you're looking for, right? And a lot of the time, it's like, yeah, this is what we want, but they're really bad at like describing it. So I'm like, hey,
mm.
can you either send me examples like via YouTube or like I'll send them stuff from my work and they're like, yeah, we like that or no, we don't like that. Um, but no, my creative process, I guess, is just a lot of communicating with my clients on what exactly they want. If it's just a project for me, though,
Mm,
like storytelling, I guess, is probably at the root of everything. So
mhm.
whatever story you're trying to tell, you can make shit look cool, but if it has no added value to the story, then I guess it doesn't really matter.
I would
Um,
disagree.
so
I feel like you can
I
make
mean,
stuff just to
you
make
can make
stuff.
stuff look cool just to look cool for sure, but I think there's still like no matter what, like even if you had like a like a silent movie that had absolutely no music, no dialogue, no anything, there's still a story. Like it's not just, a blue screen. Like it,
The blue screen of death.
what else, what yeah, the blue screen of death. What else, like what else is there behind that? Like there's always a story to tell. So like trying to figure out what that is and the best way to convey it creatively, that's the fun part. I think that's where you get to have fun and actually flex your creative muscles, I guess.
That is, yeah, I would agree with that. So earlier we mentioned burnout, and I feel
Hmm.
like it happens occasionally. But what would you do, or what would you say that you do to like take breaks or return to yourself, or just kind of whenever you're feeling like super stressed or overwhelmed? Like how do you manage that?
Wonderful question. And if I had the answer, then I wouldn't be an anxiety ridden mess most of the time. Um, I like, I mean, I always forget, like, when I'm in the thick of it, like,
You know, think of it.
why I'm stressed. I mean, I'm not in the thick of it right now, but like, if I start, well, I mean, here's the thing. I used to be like a salaried employee and I would do like content for social media or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That was the last time I started feeling like that was the last time I was burnt out. It was probably like 2 years ago. Because it was just stuff that I didn't really like. I had no, I didn't really have any heart in it. You know, it was just work at the end of the day. So when that happened, like I would have to walk away, like physically walk away from whatever that work was and either go do something absolutely not creative at all because it was just causing me stress and anxiety, or like do something absolutely not related to the work that I was doing. So I don't know. It's a tough balance. Like when you're a creative in a video or filmmaking field and you're doing stuff, you know, let's say it's for social media and you're like a coordinator that makes and produces a bunch of content for a brand, taking photos on your own time seems like work and a chore. So like I won't do that. Like I'll go, I don't know, write or something else that has nothing to do with photos. Like that's a lie. I don't write. I'm a horrible writer. I really need to work on that more. But I
Not
would want to do
allowed. Not
something
allowed
that
to
has.
say that you're a horrible writer.
Okay, I will be.
No negative
I'll be
self-talk.
nice. I'll be nice to myself. Exactly. Yeah. Stop that. Stop that, Sean.
Stop it, damn it.
You gotta walk away from it. Like you can't keep pushing yourself to the brink of
Death, collapse, burnout.
Yeah, like
Insanity.
burnout is one thing, but yeah, insanity is probably a good word for it. I had gotten pretty fucking anxious and questioning my existence when I started getting like really bad burnout. Because it's like, really, is this it? Is this the rest of my life? I'm just gonna be making like reels for Instagram for some brand. Like, oh God.
Not the
Anyway,
reals.
not the reels, not the algorithm. No.
Yeah. So I guess
Yeah,
would you say that like
tough.
having like heart and just like this importance that it's tied to the project is really important to you?
Definitely. I mean, there's always the balance of like, at the end of the day, a lot of it is just a job. I just want to pay my rent and like I want to go home and like hang out with my wife and my dog. So yes, I do. I would love to always work on something that felt important. However, you know, a little bit of structure and routine and things that, you know, don't have my entire heart and soul in the project, that's totally fine too. Like everything in moderation. You know, there's a balance of really creative fun projects and really boring soul sucking marketing internal videos. Like I'll do both. But for sure, it definitely helps. It helps to have a little bit of, you know, a little bit of heart in the project, like a little bit of putting your mark on something, whatever that is.
Agree.
This podcast is called Creatives Off the Clock. So what's your favorite thing to do outside of work right now? Like that has nothing to do with graphic design or creativity. Like what do you do for like, what's your guilty pleasure not work related? What do you do for fun? Like off the clock?
Yeah, absolutely. So part of the reason I started this podcast was to explore, you know, folks, you know, wide range of creativity that either sometimes as creative people, that is our work, but also we have stuff outside of that. That is also creative. So I really like making stuff with my hands. I did like crafts and crafting. This past Christmas, I made like 50 ornaments, I want to say. Like I was shoving like
Nice.
leaves and ribbon and like glitter into like a small opening of a clear ornament.
Oh man.
So that was fun. But generally, I love writing. It doesn't even like literally just brain dumps because sometimes I am burnout. burn out creatively by the work that I do. And then I haven't gotten too much of a chance to do it quite yet here, but I used to run a lot. And so just doing something that helps me get in my body and like out of my head. And now that I'm in Colorado, I can hike again, which is amazing. Texas was very flat, and we lived like off of a road that was like 55 miles an hour, so it wasn't really a
Eesh.
good safe space for running. But yeah, and hanging out with people and trying new things. I love trying new things with other people because it's like such a, I think, equalizer in a way. Like it's an unseen like bond. If you've ever done like the karaoke that you go into a room for and you like share the whole room and you rent the room, I guess, for however.
Yep.
Have you done that?
Yep. I haven't done it, but there are so many people, like there's so many of my friends that have been trying to get me to do that
Yeah.
for a while now, and I'm like for sure terrified because I can't sing at all. But
That's so the part of the
I mean,
fun though. Like
I have no
everybody,
shame. Like, yeah,
yes,
I'll go belt out, rolling in the deep if I have to.
it's a good one.
That wouldn't actually be my go-to. I don't really care about Adele. What would be my go-to karaoke
Yeah,
song?
but stuff like that, just fun stuff.
Stuff like that for sure. Hiking is absolutely, that's like up there, top of the list. Portland, like all of Oregon, is a hike. Like there's so many freaking cool places to hike out here. So we definitely hike a bunch. You got to get outside. Like get away from the screens, the computers, the Slack, all that. Go away. Like we went camping like probably a month or two ago and just like turned off our phones for a week, and it was the greatest thing ever. Like highly recommend. Everybody needs to take like just a digital hiatus every couple weeks or every couple months because you just get so used to like the scrolling and the monotonous like junk media that we consume and get like so obsessed with. Like I'm thankful I'm only on Instagram now. Like I don't do Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, really any of that. But like even just Instagram, like it's all so it's the exact same. It's everybody just trying to make whatever type of popular form of content. Just get away from all that for a bit. Do it. Leave it all behind.
Yeah, one of my coworkers recently was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take a break from my big screen so I can look at my small screens."
Oh God.
Like just take lunch and look at my small screen. But you're so right. I do think like a digital detox and hiatus is really good, and it's
Needed.
hard when your work is so much when you're so connected in. Like you have clients, you have to be in touch with them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think it's
Most of my
important.
clients are like, like 75% of the people that hit me up for work is just through Instagram. Like they're sliding in my DMs, just asking if I could work on a project for a couple of days in like a week or two. So it's really hard to like just log out and not do anything because I'm like, oh, I'm missing out on work. But no, you have to uh, get away for a bit. And side note, I just found the greatest word for not necessarily Gen Z, but like young people that like grew up with cell phones and iPads. I don't know if you've heard this, but I'm using it all the time now. Screenagers. Like,
How did I not?
is that not the greatest thing
What an
ever?
opportunity. Good.
I'm calling everyone screenagers, like below the age of like 18. I'm like,
Wow.
you don't even know what 9/11 was.
Oh,
Like,
oh my
shut up,
gosh.
you silly screenager. Yeah, sorry. Boomer is fun, but screenager is like you have no
Oh
idea,
my
you
gosh.
children.
Well, how
I
old were
sound so
you when you
old.
got a phone, actually?
That's a great question. I was oof. I was 13.
When I was
13? Yeah,
13.
and I had a Samsung flip phone that only had T9 texting. I had maybe like 60 minutes a month and like 200 text messages for like a year or two. I want to say it was like 10th grade, high school.
High school, yeah.
And then by my senior year, I got like a BlackBerry, and I thought it was like the coolest person ever. Like iPhones just came out. Like I'm like, oh God, yeah. I'm glad. I'm so freaking glad we didn't have.
Yeah.
We kind of sort of had smartphones in high school, but like, dude, middle schoolers on like Snapchat these days is like the
Mhm.
bane of my existence. Like,
It's hard. It's hard to
it's
navigate.
terrifying.
I would not.
It's terrifying.
Oh, it is so terrifying. And have you seen what is it? Have you seen Euphoria? That
I
series?
don't watch Euphoria. No.
Okay.
It's a little too heavy for
Mhm.
me. I feel like.
Mhm.
Um, I watch 99% of the media I consume like with my wife,
Mhm.
and shout out Sabrina, I love you. You're not going to listen to this, but like she
We love
works and
you.
does stuff in like the public health field and like mental health, and like I don't want to watch a bunch of teenagers just doing drugs all the time. Like I
Mm,
know there's more to it, but like,
mhm.
it doesn't seem super appealing to me.
For
I
sure.
understand why it's popular, sure, but no, I haven't watched any of that to answer
Okay.
your
Yeah.
question.
I won't say anything or any spoilers or anything. I was just someone recommended it to me and it was hard to watch. I had to turn it off and walk away a couple of times. But the main
Yeah.
reason I bring it up is because these kids on the show are in high school and they all have like, it's
Mhm.
just so weird to see everybody having a smartphone and just like the gray territory that comes with all of that. Like when I was in middle school, I didn't have to worry
Yeah.
about people sending like nudes of me around. Like it was just like
Right?
it's crazy.
Like to be like to be on like all the time, and to be like curating this feed of like, well, this is my life as a 12-year-old. Look how happy I am, or look how whatever the fuck. Like that just, I feel like that's gotta fuck with your head.
Mhm.
Like those aren't things that you need to worry about at that age. Like
Mhm.
I'm glad I didn't have to worry about those things,
Mhm.
but kids, man, they are. Ugh. Have you watched? I have to bring this up because it's one of my favorite things in the last couple of years. Have you watched Bo Burnham's Inside?
Yes. And I watched the
Oh my god,
outtakes.
the outtakes. Yeah, he he sums it up really well in that.
Mhm.
Like the whole, you're the kids are gonna just develop, dissociative personality disorders by the time they're like 18,
Mhm.
because half of them like aren't living in reality. They're just living for like their Snapchat streaks. Like it's it's hard. It's
Yeah.
tough.
And
It's
it's such a delicate balance cuz like there's so much good and like connection and accessibility to folks
it's
now that
yeah.
but
It's a double-edged
it
sword. Like
is.
I love the internet, but
Mhm.
I also absolutely hate the fucking internet.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, and a
and
lot of
it's
people
so,
don't
like,
understand it. Like, legislators don't understand it, so they can't.
yeah. And like those are the best people to make laws, the ones that don't understand anything. Like I feel like most legislators should definitely be men, because they know everything about women's
I
bodies.
was about to be like, "I'm gonna
That's
stop you
okay.
right there."
This is sarcasm, kids. Please don't cancel me.
Yeah,
No,
honestly.
I just found out that Oregon, like they almost lost, but Oregon voted in their Democratic governor again. They've been blue for like 40 years, and there was a slim chance that they were going to flip today, and they didn't. Thank God,
Oh, wow.
because that's like one of the best things about living in Oregon. Like
Yeah.
you got a lot of rights, and you got, fucking there's a good bit of stuff that we don't have to worry about here, that Texas is a whole other fucking story. Like I don't know how you were dealing with yeah,
Yeah.
anyways, we won't get into politics are stupid. We're here for creativity and good vibes only. So
I mean, yeah, it's, when politics influences your ability to create, like, if you're constantly living in like survival mode, concerned about a lot of
Yeah.
things. It all ties into it, I
Yeah.
think, and the doom scrolling and all the things that we can't, that blocks our ability to like be creative
Didn't
because like
didn't go ahead, sorry.
oh shoot, I don't know what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, it's
I was just gonna say doom scrolling became like
yeah.
a fucking like official word like in Webster's
Yeah.
like last year. And that's such like the internet's only really been a thing for, 20 some years.
Yeah.
Smartphones have only been a thing for like 10 years. So the fact that we just like created and are now in like the downward trend of like our shitty mental health having to do with the internet and smartphones is like that's crazy to me. Like an entire generation, not even an entire generation, like between our generation and like my little bro, people who are like 20, it's like a completely different world. Like growing up with a smartphone is just oof.
Yeah,
just oof.
I don't
That's
know
it.
if I would do it if I had offspring. I would delay that as
no screens until you're like fucking 12.
yeah, and
I'm
I feel like
sorry.
I wouldn't do it from like a lame point of view. So like I don't want them to feel like left out from their friends. I would just try to be like you are going to be so much better off in the long term. But it's really hard to make like kids understand that. Like I didn't understand it until I was older.
Totally. Our parents were onto something when they were like, "Oh, kids, they're always on their phones these days." Like I get it, but like,
yeah, there's a balance.
It's rough.
There's definitely a balance.
There is.
And because so many people live in digital spaces, like we occupy digital spaces now, if people rely on those digital spaces, then it should be like, how are they going to be like regulated and governed in a way that is like safe and equitable and, okay for people?
I think we should just all move to Twitter because now it's just, a free world of absolutely no moderation. And, Elon Musk said that. No, I'm kidding. Don't do Twitter. Twitter's going to die a horrible death soon, and I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, I'm not on Twitter much anymore. I feel like if I am, I'm just like scrolling through people's tweets and like getting a chuckle every now and then, reading some interesting threads. I like reading interesting threads and then corroborating with research about those threads. But other than that, yeah, I think that I might be hitting the delete button pretty soon here.
I'm not gonna delete my Twitter. I'm just gonna call myself like I'm gonna change my name to Elon Musk.
Isn't there a fine now for people impersonating him?
No, not a fine. You just get deleted. Like you get permanently banned.
Oh, so you want to?
I feel like is the greatest, most ironic way to go.
You want to go out kicking and screaming as Elon Musk,
the president of the company, and then get banned. Isn't that ironic that like he's saying that it's this bastion of free speech, but at the same time, if you call yourself someone else and you're not paying $8 for a blue check mark, then you get kicked off. I don't know. That seems a little ironic.
Yeah, I'm still not fully caught up with all of that, but it's just getting too much.
It is. It's a lot.
Well, yeah. You were talking.
You got to come up with some more questions. These are good questions. I want to like.
Yeah, I'm literally formulating one right now in my head. You were talking a little bit about earlier, like consumption of media and how much we consume. I've been reading a lot, like paper books, actually, about how
books. What are those?
I know about how we should be creating more than we consume because, like, when, like you said, if you're like 12 years old and constantly curating your feed, curating your life, and constantly living in like a feedback loop, not necessarily like a feedback loop in the sense of like, oh, I'm Googling stuff that only aligns with my opinion. I'm talking about putting stuff out there and constantly getting comments on it, constantly getting feedback to yourself about what you're creating. Like there's no blank space. There's no like empty time to just create it and like sit with it.
Yeah. how are you going to be creative if everybody's telling you how to be creative?
So true.
Or how are you going to, do anything on your own? Like, we live in a what, post modern society now, so like, sure, nothing's original, but like, dude, you gotta think for yourself a little bit. I totally agree. We should absolutely create more than we're consuming, because it's a there's a lot of shit out there, and if you're just like trying to take it all in, like, you're gonna go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much stuff out there.
Yeah, I know that for me personally, it comes from also a place of like people pleasing. And so like having to
Mm-hmm.
like unlearn like a lot of that, just like you don't have to, like, it's not my job to make you happy or to make you like me or to like my art, whatever I produce. Like it's not, that's not my job.
You gotta do it for you.
Mhm.
It's not a yeah, it's not a people pleasing thing. Um, if you're in that mindset, then yeah, it can get pretty dangerous, of just like always trying to appease others. Like, no, you're not. You can't make everybody happy. You
Yes.
can't do that to yourself. You come first, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Treat yourself.
Yeah, what is it? It's like you could be like the best pie in the world and there's always going to be someone who doesn't like pie. So,
Totally,
yeah,
totally.
I was going to ask you what advice would you give to people who are, just exploring their creative side or trying to get into something, but they don't know where to start? What would you say to them?
I mean, figure out whatever brings you the most joy first. Like, whatever that thing is that, like, you're like, oh shit, that's cool, or oh shit, I wish I could do that. Like, YouTube University, like,
Mm-hmm.
look up some YouTube videos on it. Google how to do whatever the hell you want to do. Like, I don't know anything about painting, but if I did want to paint, I'd probably go, look up some shit about painting and then stick with it for a bit. Like, that's the hard part. I used to be really bad at like just trying a bunch of things out, and then like 10 seconds later I realize I'm not good at it, and I think then I'll never be good at it, so I just drop it and never do it. But
Mm,
no, if you really, I don't know, whatever the hell it is that you think would bring you a little bit of joy or fulfillment, do that.
mm.
Do that shit. Um, I have a super basic white girl Pinterest tattoo. This is what my little sister calls it. My white girl Pinterest tattoo that says, "What do I desire?" on my wrist.
Aw.
And it is a quote. I don't know if you know who Alan Watts is, but
Mm,
Alan Watts was a British philosopher, and he did a really awesome speech. Highly recommend everybody looks up the speech. But it's also that super trendy TikTok audio right now that's like, better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than have a long life spent in a miserable way. That's from that
oh
speech.
my gosh, okay. I have to link to that too in
So
the description as well.
yeah, look up the "What do you desire" speech quote thing from Alan Watts, because that, I feel like when I first heard that for the first time, that shit changed my life. I was like, oh my god, this guy is so smart. He's got all the answers, and he's just a guy that put something in a way that resonated with me.
Mm,
But you gotta figure out, what you like. And the whole quote is like him saying, don't worry about the money, don't try and do things to,
mm,
make the most money, figure out what you like and then do that,
mm.
because that's what everybody should do. Um,
Okay, two things.
so yeah, check that shit out.
Two things based on that.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
One, I
Uh-huh.
think I need to make a tattoo appointment like ASAP because that actually sounds like a
Do you
dope
not have any
tattoo.
tattoos yet? No, you have tattoos.
I do. I have one tiny one that has the first no one can see this. It's a small little
Yeah.
sans serif A on the inner of my left wrist, and then I have a basic white girl Pinterest tattoo as well. It is a bunch
Uh-huh.
of floral. I don't know exactly what they were.
Oh,
I found the design on Amazon, and I've always wanted a design like that, like somewhere on my body. And then I found it, and I was like,
you
"This."
got an Amazon tattoo?
Yeah, it was like it was an image from an Amazon fake tattoo. Like, the kits
That's
that you can
amazing.
get, like the temporary tattoos? Yeah.
Yes. You got a tattoo. You got a permanent tattoo of a temporary tattoo?
Yes. That it
That's
was like
baller.
screenshot
That
off of the
is.
preview of like what it was gonna look like. I think I made some minor adjustments. I actually did edit it a little bit, like in Illustrator, just a tad, but yes, pretty basic. But the second thing I was gonna say related to the what do you desire thing is one thing I have seen a couple of times is the idea that like if you are like scrolling online or something and you see something and you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I could do that, or I wish I was that, or and you feel yourself feeling envious, like to pay attention to that
Mm-hmm.
because that is information like that's telling you. It's like a clue in to what you desire.
Totally. There's also the other side of like, uh, just because that's really cool and you can't do that
Hmm.
doesn't mean that's a bad thing or whatever. Like, I've got a lot of friends who are insanely talented,
Hmm.
FPV drone operators, and I'm like, oh my god, that's really cool. I wish I could do that. Um, and so like I bought an FPV drone like a couple months ago, and I'm like slowly trying to get into that, but like I absolutely cannot try and compare myself to that
Mm.
because they've put in years and years of practice and I
Hmm.
haven't. So comparison is the thief of
I was
joy.
just about
Do
to
not
say,
do
yes.
not do that.
Hmm.
Do not do that. It's bad.
For sure.
But yes, you were right that follow that little inkling, or whatever it is that you are envious about, or you think that is a really cool thing, and you're inspired by whoever it is that's doing that cool thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, follow that, try that, do that thing, and maybe you will like it, or maybe you'll think that'll open another door, and you'll do something else. But I would say, aside from my what do I desire Pinterest white girl quote, um, my other my other quote, and John Hodges, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. My third quote to live by, you can write this down, is um, do not do what makes you uncomfortable. What is it? Um, Something along the lines of put yourself in uncomfortable positions, because like that's where you thrive and learn how to do different stuff.
Hmm.
Like, you have to take yourself out of your comfort zone
Hmm.
and do shit that like you're either afraid of, you don't think you can do,
Hmm.
you don't think you have the talent to do whatever. Like, most of freelancing, especially in like the filmmaking industry, is just straight up believing you can do it and faking it until you make it.
Hmm.
Like, that's all it is. No one's gonna know that you're a inexperienced photographer. If you can take a couple pictures and like they're happy with them, then boom, you're an amazing experienced photographer in their eyes. It doesn't really matter
Hmm.
if you went to school and got a history degree. You can still be a photographer and be creative. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, the whole imposter syndrome is real as fuck
Hmm.
in our industry, but like you can't let that get to you. Like, there's 8 billion fucking people in the world.
Hmm.
Like, not everyone is going to be, you know, Annie Leibovitz or fucking Ansel Adams.
Hmm.
Like, everybody starts somewhere. So put yourself in those weird, awkward positions and take jobs you don't think you're super qualified for, or try that cool new, I don't know, pottery lesson that you think
Hmm.
looks cool, but you're too afraid you're gonna look awkward and make only penis shaped faces. I don't know. Do whatever. Do whatever. Like, do that weird shit. That's where the fun lies, I feel like. And making penis shaped faces actually sounds really fun. So like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, there's an artist a
Why
few
wouldn't you?
artists actually I follow that are just really dedicated to like I think it's like phallus or like very what's the word? Netflix has a category for it. It's irreverent like art that is like
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
this the cross stitching and like the vases or the
Mm-hmm.
earrings or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like recently I was at a art slash bar kind of thing and they had an outdoor area where a bunch of artists were just like popped up and selling their stuff outside, like very Denver
Mm-hmm.
very Denver vibes.
Yep.
But one of the
Yep.
sets of earrings was just like it was just phalluses in different colors and just like and
Yep.
then the next booth over was like custom BDSM like wear, so it was it's like you create what you want to create.
Seriously. Going back to the Alan Watts quote, I had to Google this because I didn't want to fuck it up. But in the middle of that whole speech, he's like, everybody is interested in something.
Mm-hmm.
So like anybody can learn, you can learn anything and be interested in anything, and then you'll find others who are also interested in that shit. So like, yeah, I might not be good at, making penis shaped faces, but if I were to just start taking a penis shaped vase class, maybe I would find some cool people that were also into that, and boom, you made some new friends. You got a new little community of penis shaped vase makers, you know? Like,
Resisting every
put
urge
yourself
not to put that on a t-shirt and mail it to your house.
penis shaped vase makers class 101.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I don't know. No, like yeah, you gotta do stuff like that.
Agree. And I just want to share with everybody where can folks find you online? I know you said that you primarily only have an Instagram now, but a website also?
You can find me at penisshapedvasemaker.com
.net,
slash
.gov.
yeah dot org. No, you can find me at all of my things are the exact same. It's just Views by Sean. So
How do you spell Sean though? You
you
gotta
know
spell it for the
this.
folks because some people spell it the white way and some
This
people
is
spell
true.
it like other obscure ways.
This is true. So I'm that sweet Irish Catholic Sean. So SEAN.
Okay.
So Views, like uh, things that look cool, views, and then by like BY, and then my name. So like Sean.
Yeah.
So Instagram at Views by Sean, LinkedIn Views by Sean, Facebook Views by Sean, Google Maps. If you want to go to Views by Sean and like leave me a review, like those help me a lot.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, no. Follow me, hit me up, slide in my DMs if any of this resonated with you for some weird reason and you want to talk about penis shaped vases. Hit me up. I'm down.
I knew it was coming.
I'll talk
It's
to you
coming.
about whatever. Now I'm never not gonna forget that. Yeah, at Views by Sean. That is me. You can find me anywhere.
Sweet.
Please like, subscribe, follow, smash that like button.
Mm-hmm.
Do
Turn
it.
on the notifications.
Turn on, sub me, click that little bell, and I'll give you that sweet content.
Daddy made you some content.
Yeah, open wide.
Okay. Well, I just want to thank you for your time and your candor and for sharing a lot of your creative endeavors on and off the clock with us.
Thank you. I look forward to. We should do this again in like a year and like do a update on how much imposter syndrome I still feel. And
yeah, rate it out of 10. Out of 10, how you feel?
Yeah.
10 being the worst
right
imposter
now,
syndrome.
like how much do I feel right now?
Yeah.
So if 10 were absolute imposter, I have no idea what I'm doing, and 1 were I'm the greatest at my job, I would say I'm a solid. Ooh, right now I'm like right in the middle. I'm like a 5.
Okay.
Like it's the thing that I battle with every day. It's a cycle of I'm really good at this. I'm making money. I could do this for forever, and then like I'm not that great at this. People aren't hiring me. Oh my god, I'm so bad. I should never freelance again. And then I'll do like one small project and make like $10, and then I'll be like, oh, I am good at this. And it's a vicious cycle.
Yes, it is literally a sine wave. This resonates so deeply with me.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Just stick with it. Freelancing, you will never feel comfortable as a freelancer. You just won't. You'll always want to either make more money, you're always going to want to work less or do whatever, but no, that's just it comes with the title, the territory of freelancing. It's scary and it's weird, but it's also really fun, and you're your own boss. So, I'm going to go take off like all of December now because I made a bunch of money for the last couple months and I can do that.
That's so cool.
You can't do that, as a salaried whatever digital content penis shaped face maker. You just can't.
Wow. Well, I hope you enjoy that time off, and I hope it's like super restorative and non-impossible.
I'm coming back to Virginia.
Oh, what?
I'm going back to Virginia, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna go visit all my fam.
Okay, great.
But yeah, I hope this podcast like just takes off and you get sponsored by like what's that one fucking podcast sponsor that does everything they do, the ZipRecruiter. I hope ZipRecruiter picks you up. ZipRecruiter, if you're listening to this, I'm just going to go ahead and plug you right now. I've used ZipRecruiter a couple times and they've gotten me jobs. So ZipRecruiter, give Stephanie money and she will
I mean,
she will be an official sponsor.
It's like a certain number of listeners I have to reach in order to like do self-read ads. So ZipRecruiter, if you want an ad read by me in whatever like accent you want, like let me know.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. In your favorite accent, or your favorite accent that you like to do, tell me what was this, and this is just my last question. What was the last really good thing that you watched and enjoyed on the televisions? TV show, movie, whatever. But what have you watched recently? Tell me.
Oh shit. Okay, so I feel like the easiest and most accessible accent for me is this one. But I have to
I don't know. Is that English?
Literally.
Literally English.
I have to say I'm torn between. I actually just caught up on Game of Thrones because I wanted to watch House of Dragons. Turns out you actually don't have to know shit about Game of Thrones in order to watch House of Dragon. But there's an HBO special. It's Brene Brown's Atlas of the Heart, and she basically does a stand-up course kind of teaching. There's a lot of people in the audience, but it's very fun. She talks about the many, like 80 some emotions in the book that she just released. It's called Atlas of the Heart. Anyways, it's very good. Very good. Would recommend.
I'm going to go buy that on audiobook because I can't read. ADHD does not allow me. So I'm going to go buy that on audiobook like right now, and I'm going to go listen to that. And speaking of audiobooks, in terms of favorite thing that I've consumed, I should have said consumed because it's not just watch. And I should probably do an accent too. What's an accent that I like? So an accent that I really like doing is like it's like a mix of New Zealand and Australian. And like I'm not that good at it. But I would say that Jeanette McCurdy, she played Sam on iCarly. She wrote a book called I'm Glad My Mom Died. And it was fucking amazing. I listened to that entire book in like 10 hours on a drive on like when I was like driving. And let me tell you, I have not cried while listening to an audiobook in my life, and I cried. It was beautiful. It was devastating. And I hope that everyone reads this book or listens to an audio of Jeanette reading this book, because it was beautiful. Yeah.
Slow clap, because oh my god, I make so many, like, the Australian / New Zealand one is one that I'm trying to learn and like get down pat, but like I know it's such a serious
It's
book.
pretty hard, you know.
But I have listened to so many interviews about it. The only thing I have left to do is actually read it or listen to it on audiobook. So this is a sign for me that I actually need to consume this content.
Yeah, go do that, and I'm gonna go buy Atlas of the Heart now.
Yeah, it's really good. I have a hard copy. I wonder who does the voiceover for it. It's always fun to know, like, who gets. Someone is paid to read this book. Like, I also have thought about voice acting for a long time. That's just something.
Well, nowadays, the wonders of the internet. I'm looking at it right now on Audible. Brene Brown actually did the narration of her book.
That's amazing. Well, she has a great voice.
So, like, Jeanette McCurdy did the narration of her book, and it was like, it made it so much better.
Oh,
wow!
Like,
hearing someone read that book, like, there's a part in the book where, like, they didn't cut it out. She just started like crying and like breaking, like her voice was cracking, and like they didn't have her redo it or anything. Wow. She just started crying because it was like a super heavy, really hard, touchy subject.
Holy crap!
But no, I'm gonna go buy this now.
That's super really
good. It's like $5.
Genuine though, so
yeah, it's really good.
Well, shit. Thank you so much for spending time with me.
Anywho, yeah, I hope you carry on this. I hope you carry on this tradition of making people do really bad accents, because I want to hear.
It's tempting. It is. I want to hear people. Something
hear
brewing.
People recommend good stuff. There we go. Well, shit. This was a wonderful hour and 12 minutes, because
it will probably be slightly less by the time I edit it down. But yes, thank you so much for sharing all of your experience and fun things and creative juices with me.
Thank you. I will share my juices anytime.
I'm cutting.
That's wrong. We're gonna cut.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Creatives Off the Clock podcast. If you would like to continue the conversation, you can find me and more podcast content on Instagram at SPW Design Media. Henry Matisse says that creativity takes courage, so I wish you the space, time, and intention to be courageous, to be curious, and to make some creative choices. I'll see you next time.